Hey guys, welcome back to my Tamiya Grasshopper 2 build series. So in this video, I go ahead and apply all the decals, and leading up to this point, I was really nervous about it. I know I had to cut out the decals and apply them, and they're pretty much permanent once you got them on there, and I was real nervous, right? Especially some of these are pretty small, some of them are large, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna even cut these out, but it all worked out, and I actually enjoyed the process quite a bit. So I used scissors, as you could see here, and I got as close as I could, but it wasn't perfect. And at the end of the day, it has a clear like vinyl sticker part of thing going on. So there's a little bit of clear going around, not the end of the world, especially on my first Tamiya build. And then I did a lot of research, and that also showed to do the soapy water method. So if you don't know, you just get a little bit of soap and water in a spray bottle, and you're going to spray the decals, right? And this allows you to be able to move around the decals, and they're not completely permanent when you first put them on. I'm not sure if you're supposed to spray down the car, spray down the decal. Honestly, I don't know. But I did both, and they both seem to work just fine. And then after you place it and have it lined up how you want to, you kind of just squeegee it out. I used paper towel, my thumb, just to go ahead, get all that water out and locked into place. I will say that, it's a daunting task, right? You get your kit, you finally build everything, you look at all the stickers and decals involved, and you're like, how am I going to get through this? It's not that bad. I truly enjoyed it. I think it took me just about an hour and a half to complete, maybe even less. I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I did do it in 2 sessions. I was working before work, got about halfway through, and then the next day I finished up the second half. Now this sticker was a little tricky. This I'm hopping mad just because it's bigger, and there's also the hole for the body post, right? So you have to make sure you line that up correctly. That one was probably one of the more difficult ones. That, and then the number on the front of the buggy. But you could see I had a little too much clear going on, so I come back in with the scissors, take care of that, because I don't want to cover that hole, and I want to make sure that it is placed correctly. Just take your time with these things. I mean, if you do the soapy water trick like I did, you could tell it is not all that difficult. I know it's a little scary, a bit intimidating, but it's not too bad. Here's another tip is try to pre-line them up, before you peel off the backing. You could go in there and see, okay, this part of the decal, I want it to match up with this corner edge, right? So it makes it a lot easier when you have that idea in your head ahead of time. That way you could just go in, place it. And if you can tell from this clip, the second decal I put on a lot easier than I did on the other side, because I kind of already had an idea of where to go with it. So just a little bit of advice there. Another thing that worked well for me is to cut out, sections at a time, right? So up here at the front, I cut out the little grasshopper, I cut out the different sayings, I forget exactly what they are, but had multiple ready to go, and then I was just able to apply all of them, get them in the right spot, and it kind of worked out, because if you do 5 or so at a time, you could kind of get in a groove of things, but at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea to cut them all out ahead of time, in case you accidentally lose one or something, because once you start peeling off the backings, if you don't have like a designated place, they kind of get everywhere and make things a little confusing. But you know, it's not too bad. I will say that these blue sides right here were a little tricky too, just because you need to make sure that you line them up right. And so I go ahead and apply the top portion first, and then lined it up the best I could. And the sides, I think I had to overlap a little bit because I had too much of the clear plastic hanging on there, at least with the one I'm working on right now. But no one could tell except myself, really. You know, or you get in there and you look real close. It's not going to be something that if you're just driving or watching a video, that stands out to you, you know. So right here is the other tricky one I had mentioned, you know, putting on this number 56. I tried to get as close as I could to just the two numbers here, but it did not. I don't know. It's a pretty big number, and it's a small space on the front of the buggy right here. So it's really a bit of a challenge to line it up right, because you want to make sure that, you know, the number's not going down the side of the car, the 6, but you also don't want to cover the hole for this front body post mount, and it's tricky. You know, I had to go down the side slightly, and I think that's just due to the size of the decal, to be honest. Like, I don't think you really can fit it up top 100%. Maybe if you cut each number out and you could squeeze them together a little closer, but it was not working for me. So I just went ahead and did the best I could. I will say these silver decals that you're looking at on the right hand side, they just fell. I don't know where those go. I thought these would go to like around the window, because I thought I've seen some chrome type of decal there, but when I tried to apply them, it doesn't like line up right. I don't know if I was just doing it wrong or what, but there would be some sort of gapping, and I was like, I don't want this big gapping. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't think it goes there. I don't know if I did it right, but let me know in the comments, please. I know the picture showed some like silvery gray too on the sides right there. That's why I was checking out the side, but I just put them to the side for right now. You know, I got it as close to box art as I could. I'm sure there's a few things that might be off, but I also had extra decals. So I don't know if I just didn't line something up right, or if they throw in some extras. That way you could have fun with it and make it your own, so to speak. But overall, this was a really great experience. Don't be worried about the decals. It's not that bad. Do the soapy water, take your time cutting them out, and take your time lining them up, and you'll be just fine. I hope you all have enjoyed this build series, but the car is basically good to go. Pretty soon we will have a running video up. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.